Hello, streaming to you live. I'm Gordon with Unlock Your Bioenergy. Today is Monday, May 18th, 2026. And I'm back. I'm going to stream live today on Facebook, largely because I've just thought I'd do it, given that it's Holiday Monday up in Canada. And after a few days away, I skipped Friday and Saturday's live stream largely because I was motivated to do some other live streaming with a fellow from Europe, and I got my energy. Or I say I got my exercise in a different way. So, but needless to say, I'm back, and it feels good after having a good night's worth of rest. And I hope that you are enjoying the live streams that I'm doing, largely because I'm here to help motivate you, but also to teach you a few things. And I keep seeing a lot of stuff out there that I think is questionable, and you should think twice before maybe engaging with those things. And one of those things I'm talking about is the three aminos. And the reason why I say the three aminos is because they are part of protein. And protein is what forms into peptides or tripeptides inside your body. And there is a large number of people who are trying to promote this peptide stuff by injecting needles into your skin. And it really, really rubs me the wrong way, because it just goes against everything that we have done as civilizations before this point in time. And I really, really do not like it. And I'm just seeing more and more of these ads that are coming up where people are trying to promote it. And it's like a bait and switch situation where it just really bothers me, to be blunt about it. And these things that should be so simple are becoming more complicated, and people, I think, are falling for it. And don't be one of them. I say this because at my current age of 49, I am 124 days away from my 50th birthday. Now, for some of you, they might think, who cares? That's fine. But let me tell you, I'm no slouch when it comes to being athletic here. I don't think I'm a slouch. And in fact, I think I could give people half my age a run for their money in certain things. And am I bragging about that? No. I'm just saying that in order to have longevity and good health, you got to do a few things. It's simple. And are you doing it? The question is, I'm being prompted to you, because I see more and more people say, oh, this hurts, that hurts, and they're not doing anything about it. Well, who's to blame? Who? And the reason why I say this is because on Saturday, I decided to live stream playing my accordion with a fellow out of Europe who was attempting to break the world record of longest accordion playing, believe it or not. Now, for some of you might say, oh, I don't care about that. But hear me out. My accordion is 11 kilograms. So when I put it on my shoulders, I have a belt that I actually use that can take some of the weight off. Hi, Phil. Off my shoulders. And I live streamed with Robert Goter from Slovenia for 12 hours playing my accordion. And to be honest, that's the longest ever that I've done something like that. The longest. I've never practiced usually more than 4 hours, let's say. 4 hours is a good amount, and largely because my body tends to hurt. And then you also get mental fatigue, and you just get tired. But on Saturday, I did it for 12 hours. First time ever. And I thought, that was pretty good. And Robert set a world record for playing 83 hours. Now, out of those 83 hours, I played alongside or live streamed, simulcasted essentially is what I did, for 23 of his 83. And now I did it over the span of 4 days, where he played consistently. Well, he had his breaks as well as part of the schedule, and in order to break the record, because it's virtually impossible. You can't go to the bathroom, to the washroom, without a break of sorts, right? So there were exceptions to that. So it's not consistently playing for 83 hours, but within a structured format. And he set the world record for it this past weekend. Now, one of the things that I did on Saturday was taking the X49, and I put one under one wristband, and I put the other one under the other side. And I played, and I was wearing the X39, and I played along. And for a majority of that 12 hours, I stood standing. And there came a point where I think it was around the 6-hour mark. Then I said, I got to sit down. Because it was not only were my shoulders hurting, my hip was hurting too, because of the weight, like it's like, if you wear a backpack, a heavy, backpack filled with books, and you're walking to the school or whatever, if you have to walk for an hour, you're going to feel it. It's no different than if you're walking around, let's say, a theme park of sorts, or going to the zoo and you're carrying a bag. Even though if it's like 5 or half the weight, 5 kilograms, you're going to feel it. And so you're going to need to take a rest because it's constantly tugging on your shoulders. Now, and that was my accordion for 6 hours. But until I sat down. And then there were moments where I got back up and I started playing again, and I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun for me, and something that I got personal enjoyment out of it. If you like that kind of music, have a listen. I posted links, and you can see what I did. So that's why I didn't do the Feel It Friday workout and the Saturday fitness stress testing. But I will be back at it this coming week. So, one of the things I also wanted to say was or what I wanted to share, was what you see on the screen here. And this is the puzzle that I play, and typically it's associated with mental focus and clarity. So on this particular day, it was, I think, on it would have been Saturday morning. So I had a late night because I played Friday night alongside with Robert, simulcasting, and I woke up a little bit on the late side, or I didn't get enough sleep, actually. I didn't get enough rest because I woke up and I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to see what he's doing and how the night went, because, you know, at that point he was playing for 20 some hours or something. And I finished the puzzle here, and I scored okay, but you can see I was like, why didn't it finish? And I didn't notice that the numbers that I was trying to connect weren't lining up, so my average score ended up being longer. So this was my my way of showing to you that even myself, I suffer from mental fatigue and mental clarity and focus when you don't get enough rest. So, and that was the case from Friday to Saturday because I was up late. And then this day here was after the morning after. So Sunday, May 17th. So on Saturday, I played for 12 hours, and I went to bed. It was after midnight something, 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30ish. And I tried to play this puzzle waking up on Sunday morning, which is yesterday. And it was a tough go for me, and largely because I was still tired, mentally tired. I didn't get enough rest, for one, and it showed in my score in this puzzle. So when you don't get enough rest, you can suffer the consequences, and that was the case for me. So a lesson learned, but also something I experienced that, and it reminded me that I need to be aware of the choices that I make. And see here, I reset the board, and after a minute of trying to figure this out, here I'm still struggling with this puzzle because I'm tired and trying to score well, and didn't do too good. So I ended up finishing somewhere around the double the length of time. And then this morning, after, so you can see the date, this is May 18th, which was today. So after a longer night's worth of rest, I scored much better in this puzzle. And so do I still reap the benefits of increased mental focus and clarity? Yes. From the use of the X39? But you have to complement that with adequate amounts of rest. And the same goes for, for the muscle too, right? In order for it to reset and regenerate. And so everything adds up. You just can't have one without the other. You just can't. So when I talk about, the 3 aminos necessary for the GHK, the AHK, and glutathione production, they are important. So for the GHK, you need to have the glycine, the histidine, and lysine. If you don't have those amino acids present, then it doesn't matter if you have sunlight or using the X39, because you need to have those 3 amino acids. That's why they say, when you start getting older, you should make sure you're eating protein, because it's important. Yes, for the peptides. You don't have to inject them. If you are eating well, then guess what? You're well on your way. You just might need that tap on the shoulder that goes like this. Hey body, or hey Gordon, or hey whoever you are. Say to signal your body to light and ignite that fire inside the body to synthesize those 3 amino acids and combine it with some copper. It turns, you can get that if you have copper cups like this. You can see how the copper gets into the water. And that copper is the 4th piece for the peptide, for the tripeptide. So if you want to make sure, for glutathione, you need those 3. For AHK, you need alanine, histidine, and lysine. So if you are interested in the X49, which helps to increase the energy, when you combine these 2 together, now they're tools. Remember, I say you don't need to have this. If you get adequate sunlight every single day, then the protein is what you need to make sure that you're consuming. And then you might need to have the cleanest and most absorbable water, because that's also a component that's necessary for your body to digest the amino acids, the protein that you're putting in your stomach. It's important. It's so important. You need to have the hydrochloric acid. And how do you think the hydrochloric acid forms? You need to have the hydrogen. Combine it with sodium chloride that you get from Celtic sea salt or Redmond real salt. Then you have a recipe for success. It's simple. And when your digestive system is functioning at optimum levels, then those peptides and the amino acids that you're eating, they get synthesized correctly. So there's no need to inject the peptide. Absolutely none. Because then I ask you the question, why do you have a digestive system? Why do you have it? You're going to bypass it with injecting a peptide? I think you're silly if you do that, because then you're defeating the purpose of having it in the first place. And can that turn into something consequential long term? You be the judge. I know what decision I'm making. And then with the last amino acid, glutathione, you need glutamic acid, cysteine, and glycine. And again, the body needs the activator for it. I use YH Renew. And that taps the shoulder like this. Taps the body, says, hey body, make sure you take those 3 aminos and synthesize that tripeptide called glutathione. It's simple. Now, do you need to have all these 3? Am I saying that you need to have them? No. I use them because where I live, the sun for a good 6, 7 months, 8 months, disappears. It goes away. So we don't get the light. And the plants don't grow here, where I live, when the sun is not here. So that should tell you everything. Where the plants grow, you got lots. Then you know you got lots of light. Then you might need some other things to help balance it out. So that's the tools that I use. Now, if you're interested in the water that I drink, which I call the cleanest and most absorbable, deuterium depleted, with a hydrogen bond angle of 114 degrees. You can only get it one way, and you have to make it. There's no other way around it. And that's something that I like to control for myself. And it proves its weight because of what I'm able to do here behind the camera, which is just my kind of thing to stay in shape. Now, I don't play any professional sports or anything like that, but if you were, I'd be looking at it. Because if I was younger and to do all, live life over again, that's something I'd be taking a serious look at. Now, without further ado, today's exercises. It's going to be pull day. So that's where I'm going to take some time in today's schedule, and I just realized I didn't update the list here. So I'm going to do that momentarily here. So today is pull day. So it's going to be back and biceps. So the first exercise is going to be lat pull downs. The second one is going to be chin-ups. Third is going to be rows. Fourth, I'm going to be focusing on brachialis. And then this one will be pelicans. So basically where I'm going to work the bicep when it's starting from a real stretched position. And the last one will be preachers. And this sequence of exercises is what I like to typically do for pull. And doing so, it helps keep my back nice and strong. And I'm able to do pull-ups, no problem. With the bar there, you see the weight. So maybe I'll do a few of those. And I also like to incorporate grip strength by holding onto the bar, and that way I work the forearms as well. So today's sequence, I just realized my metronome is not showing here, so I'm just gonna fix this here. Momentarily, right there. So you'll be able to see that now. I will set the metronome speed at we'll do 140, 142, 142. Let's see. And the temperature down here is kind of cold. So you can see I'm scanning. And it's 16.6 degrees Celsius. In Fahrenheit, it's 61.7 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's cold, and I'm starting to shiver a little bit, so that means I need to start moving. Now, that's good. So I said 142. That's going to be the tempo I'm going to set today for the 9-minute warm-up. And with that, I'm going to set my heart rate monitor. Let's see what happens today. Last week I hit over 200 several times. And I just do my thing here. So I do 6.5 minutes for just a tempo at 142. And then for the duration of the 9 minutes, so it'll be 2.5 minutes, will be double unders along with 8 running steps, so 8 and 8. That's the sequence that I do, and let's begin. 30 seconds. We're going to switch to doing double unders and running step. So 8 and 8 of each, and just cycle back and forth between the two for the balance. So, you ready? That's it. So, for today's back exercises, I'm going to attach bands here. Use the vibration plate. Okay. So first one is going to be lat pull downs, and what I will do is I will attach the bands to my elbows and do kind of like a wide cable pull down, but instead of holding onto the ankle straps with my hands, I'm going to attach them to my elbows, largely because I want the lats to do the work. And then I add the vibration as a disturbance. All right. With that, I will also change the tempo of the metronome to 60 beats per minute, and that will help with counting the time for each rep. So I like to switch back and forth between explosive exercises and type 1, so slow movement, and then have slow negatives, and allow the vibration to act as an activator for muscle activation within the negative itself. So let's begin. I'm just going to take the remote, and with this exercise here, the band that's on the right side is going to go into the left elbow, and the band that's anchored on the left is going to go on the right. So I'm going to create a little bit of a crisscross. And the reason being is because I want the band to be pulling from the opposite direction. And I want to have tension on the elbow at this point here. So that's the idea behind it. So I use a 3-minute setting. And so I lean a little bit forward. And then here now explosive and slow negative. So if you have a door that you can anchor the bands onto, this is a good way of doing it. And you can still get the lat activation. Now I can hold it slow negative all the way down, and you can hear the vibration is causing my body to move. Now I'm going to go slow reverse direction. Half reps. Holding it kind of like an iron cross. Now, for the next exercise, for the second one, I'm going to switch doing more of a chin up. So holding it like this, all the way through, pulling it down. So, a traditional chin up, when you're holding onto the bar, would work the bicep. But since I'm doing bicep work later, I want to focus solely on the chin up or the lat. So for this version, I'm going to do a similar thing. Okay. All right. So focusing on the elbows pushing down in front of you. You can use your hands just to hold the ankle straps in place. So it's like I'm smashing my elbows down in front of me. And 3 minutes is a long enough period of time with the resistance. So each elbow has 46 pounds worth of resistance. Holding it. Oh. All right. Next up is going to be rows. And so I'm going to do a similar thing where to the chin-ups, but I'm going to, yeah, what the heck. I'm going to change this. I'm going to do it this way. Or here I can take the bands off. You can do this one of two ways. You can raise the vibration plate as if I had this step here. I would move this, but instead I'm just going to focus just from the floor here. So essentially just changing the position of the bands here. So I'm rowing them towards me. And this is going to work the last part of the lat. So pulling it this way. And to achieve this, I'm going to just move the bands or the vibration plate away because I want the tension to begin at this point here. So it's kind of like the middle point, and then pulling it forward like that. A little bit more resistance, and ready to go. Program 1 on this vibration. So here I'm getting a lot of amplitude and working. So here, so basically you want your elbows to be pulling on the bands, and then you extend them behind your back. You can lift your elbows like this up and down to get the range of movement if you wish. And the lower back gets involved with this variation because you have to, the bands want to pull you forward, so you get kind of like a good morning a little bit. If that's what it's known for, that's the feel. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and roll those elbows behind. Alright, so next up is brachialis. So, okay, I think I know what I'm going to do here. I have some smaller ankle straps. These ones are, the bigger ones are just wrapped a couple times around this to make it smaller. And here, I'll go with the reds to start with today. Okay, with this here, I'm going to take, these are the door anchors, so taking them, essentially instead of putting them in the door, I'm going to put them underneath my feet. And instead of stepping on the band itself, because I want to preserve these bands, and this is a kind of a cheat way of doing it, and you'll see why momentarily here. So with this here, I'm going to step on here, the very bottom, yep, like that, and that way it's the, oh, that's good, I need to So having the bands here, there's tension right at the bottom, and then I'm going to move them up this way. So, and by anchoring them on my wrist, that gets the brachialis involved. So my thumbs are kind of touching my stomach here. And you just lift the weight all the way up. And then explosive reps. Slow. Keep the knees locked. That way the vibration travels all the way up through the shoulder and into the brachialis. And also the bands, the way they're attached here, they also provide additional disturbance. So here I'm holding and I can feel the brachialis doing the work. You can have your out, move your palms in and out like this. It works the bicep still from different angles. Ooh. Just my foot lifted ever so much slightly on both sides. By attaching the ankle straps to my wrists, forces that muscle to do the work. All right, next up is pelicans. So that's where I'm going to take the door stops off here, and I'm going to attach this here to this is just above my knee height. That side. And then this one here. So I'm using the Body Elastics red bands. So this is 16 pounds worth of resistance on each side. So what I'm going to do, today I decided to go slightly lighter, largely because I want to increase the tension, the time under tension. And by focusing on that, I want to increase the amount of... Okay, that's good. So, with the bands here attached, so there's just slight tension here as I'm leaning forward. And basically I'm doing this with both my arms. So you can see, where's the little more, there it is. So, doing kind of the same thing. So now, with the biceps in a stretched position, working the bottom end or the beginning edge of the bicep when it's stretched. So here, now explosives. And you can switch between a straight bar and a hammer curl. I'm doing straight bar right now. And when the vibration plate speed changes, okay, now I'm switching to hammer. Okay, switching to straight bar now. Certainly a good choice to just go one color lower. Last week I did blue. This time, for this week, I wanted to kind of just live in that feeling of fatigue. Just keep the reps on constantly, and doing so they add up. Okay, so next is going to be you need to yeah, I'm gonna raise this up a little bit. Change. So what I'm gonna do is take the step here and I'm going to raise the two. I'm raising the level of the vibration plate, so it's going to go on this green, and because I want to use the same angle as the where the red bands are, but with this variation here, the preachers, I'm going to take the towel. Oh, maybe oh no, that's good. It's about the same height. So I'm going to take the bands and I'm going to put the towel on top of my knees because I don't want my elbows sliding away. Because this exercise here will just the heat from the contact of the skin. All right, that's good. That's what I want. And my feet will be on the vibration plate. There we go. So here I'm doing straight bar, starting with straight bar. So working the bicep, the peaks. So the straight bar is more of the short head. And by having the vibration here now, all right, now hammer. Oh. Oh, already pre-fatigued from the pelican. And now working the long head again. I'm gonna put it on my wrist. Take the palm out. Gosh. Oh my goodness. You. Oh. Oh wow. All right, so that's it for today. Oh, maybe I'll try doing the bar hang. I'll just do that'll be the last thing for today. So, let's give my hand bicep opportunity to recover here. I can certainly feel the discomfort from the training I just did on the biceps. And for all those out there who have difficulty growing their muscle or any particular muscle group, this form of training really works well. It forces your muscle to do the work and to respond, and it activates it very aggressively. So today, yeah, what the heck, I'll face the camera. So I'm going to count the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So each 4-second sequence counts as 1. I normally do between 20 to 24. I'm going to see if I can try to get 25 today. Okay. 3, 2, 1. keeps slip. That side, it seems like it's uneven, my bar, because of, I thought if I were to switch sides, normally my left one doesn't start turning until the later part, but today, just for whatever reason, I know that my length of I think my left hand is slightly longer than my right one, you know, just because I'm not completely proportionate from I don't know how to describe that, but whatever. So today, just going to do a debrief of heart rate. So first and foremost, the date stamp, today's date, May 18th, 2026, as you see on the screen there. So starting time is at 3:15 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then my maximum heart rate today, I didn't even hit the green zone of 163. So you see here I only hit a maximum of 157. So that's telling me that you know, having a few extra days of rest or without any activity, really like aggressive activity like I normally would, I've seen heart rates first day back after a 1 day rest going up well over 200. So it just depends on how I feel, and today is different. So what can I say? And then you can see how my heart rate went up and down like a jigsaw or sawtooth like this. So sign of, you know, how my body just naturally recovers, and which is interesting. It didn't during the last 2.5 minutes, it when I was doing double unders, I thought for sure it would go up, but it just didn't today. So what can I say? Sometimes it's high and other days it's not. So does wearing the X49 in combination with the X39, which is here, because I wore it more over the course of the last 3 days. So Friday I wore it, Saturday I wore it for the entire time when I was actually playing, because I wanted to see if I'd feel a difference, and I did. So does it prove its weight in music or for music? I think so. So let's say if you're a drummer, for example, and you need more energy to be able to keep playing, then I'd consider, you know, adding the two together as a tool to help you with that. It's worth a try. If you're finding you have lack of energy and you need more energy and vitality when you're playing your drums, well, hey, maybe that's could be of value to you. Certainly helps me when I play my accordion. Just saying. And it helps here too when I'm doing, you know, the skipping, and when I'm doing conditioning too. So we'll see how the rest of the week goes. Tomorrow will be Tacky Tuesday, so I will be focusing on push exercises. So tune in tomorrow, and eat well, sleep well, and don't forget your 3 aminos, and then have copper. So find foods that have traces of copper in them, and then that way your body can combine those 3 aminos with the copper, either for the GHK or the AHK. And then you're well on your way to resetting and regenerating your body. And if you want to really up the ante, then you'll be like me and you'll factor in this. So is it one of the reasons why I continue to experience the muscle growth? Because of the creatinine that's in your own perfect medicine, but also other hormones that maybe your body needs, and your body will produce them, and it's the perfect DNA match for you. So by combining the stem cell activator, aka the sun that's not here, using my own infrared light that my body is emitting, reflecting it back in, and tapping on the shoulder, say, hey Gordon, it's time to you know, ramp up the intensity or the manufacturing system inside the body and do something with the stuff that you're fueling it with. So is there a coincidence that, you know, I don't need peptides? I'm just saying, there's something to this. So unlock your bioenergy. That's all I can say. Start doing with the best. That's the perfect match for you. That's all I can say. So click on the links if you want a vibration plate. Support me. Follow me. And I do different things each week too, so I change it up. So, but I like to focus on, you know, the main muscle groups. That way you develop the strength, and you can do whatever you want, whatever kind of sport you want to play. With this kind of training, any sport, doesn't matter. So, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.